Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullah and very good morning. So today we'll continue uh, the topic under subject Engineering Ethic Code uh, MBA program. So I'm Ahmad Zaidi bin Abdullah. Will continue this topics today and will support by PM Dr. Haji Haris bin Amlus. Okay, previously we already covered topic on ethic. So I hope all of you still remember on the implication or the importance of the ethic regarding to the engineers, because I believe that most of you are engineers and we try to absorb this ethic into the body of every engineers, since the ethics are very important in order to build the good attitude. Because right now we know that Malaysia is a number 4 under corruption, right? So, and when we are seeing and when we are investigating, we find out that most of the case is coming from unethical issue. So based on that, today we try to learn something and we try to discuss something related on the ethics code of implication. Okay. So first thing is a moral issue. As I mentioned earlier, the ethic is very important and it related to the moral. Okay, number one, we can say that is moral clarity, because we need to know something, is it wrong or do not ignore problem, right? So maybe that engineer, so today we just talking related to the engineers, because this subject is related to the ethic for engineers. So maybe some of you not are engineers as a profession, right? So we try to capture which is this is focusing on the engineers profession. Okay, so based on that, let's say this you are engineer, okay, and then if not you are the other person, so let's say in related to the moral, when we say that need to know something, is it wrong? So sometimes the person, they doing a wrong thing because they do not know is it right or wrong thing what they have done. Alright, so that's why we need to improve it, okay, to educate him. And then loyalty to employer, responsibility to public and environment, and complex relation between the case. And most of them are not loyal to employer normally, and then not responsibility to the public, because they just thinking about their own self only. So maybe they took something wrong just because they want to make benefit to himself only, so they don't mind what happened to his company or what happened to the other person and right, alright. So that's become of the what we call it moral issue. Number 2 is we need to know the fact, okay, the hard document fact, discuss with others, right? So when we dealing it, we need to get real facts. We need to know fact, okay, and then we the competent method in gathering technical fact. So that is not simply we can say based on ethical. So in order to make sure to get a clear fact, we need to find a real data, okay. So that's why we need to find clear part by part, and then when we detail it, we need to document the fact related to the ethic. So that's why uh, that's why somebody they try to modify the document. That's why that's what happened right now lah. And then number 3, we can say that consider option. So how do you consider the option? Number 1, maybe they can use the diversity of action to take. So, and then we try to evaluate and discuss for long term, short term perspective, repercussion, and we try to creative media solution. There is some consideration during making the decision. Is it right or wrong decision that we want to take? This based on the condition where sometimes maybe we do not know is it correct thing or not to take this action. It look like when somebody try to give you something, so is it I can take it or cannot take it. So that's why we need to consider the option. You need to consider, is it whatever we want to make the decision, or we want to take somebody give us something, so we need to have an option, because we don't want to be trapped or to become unethical person. Okay, because right now there are a lot of ways, a lot of what we call method, and a lot of strategy in order to trap us, especially engineer, because Malaysia is right now very what we call it, a lot of trick. Okay, okay, and then based on that, we need to make a reasonable decision. So we try to weight all factor, recognize gray area, compromises, and we also use an engineering design problem. So we need to consider, okay, because engineers making a decision every time, and engineers also a problem solver. So based on that, because of that, a lot of ethical issue are reflect to the engineer. Okay, because most of the case are coming for engineering due to the problem solver and then decision making. So when you can make the decision, so confirm there are a lot have some yes or no lah. Make a decision, confirm yes or no. So when you say yes, so is it correct or not? And sometimes even this work is no, but sometimes you say yes because of what? Because there are something that you will get when you say yes. So that's what will happen when you dealing with unethical works. Okay, because this is what we call it, this very huge case, because it is related to the public health and safety. Okay, so what does engineer perform? Okay, so that the situation. So based on that, we try to analyze the case. So first, based on moral clarity, so what is wrong? What is wrong? We try to check apa salah dia, apa masalah dia. Okay, what is the core issue question? We try to raise. What is wrong? Is it you want to perform or not? Confirm, not right, because he know what does a new standard. That is the requirement, and whatever it is, it will reflect to the safety of the civil of the person lah. So and then will the software meet the new standard? If he don't perform the standard, so confirm it will not meet this new standard. It just perform previous standard. Okay, so why are there new standard? Kan? So experiential new failure mode, maybe We need to analyze lah. Okay, maybe the why new standard came because new test designed to test new failure mode. That's why we need to perform a test, new test standard. So okay, and then as engineer role in new standard. What does our engineer? So we engineer, we need to develop of a new standard. So that also come from engineers. And then as engineer, we are performing, or we need to follow the new standard that has been developed by the others company, others engineers. So as we are as engineer A, so he need to use it because he know that there are available new standard, and maybe that from the new standard what the previous software have failure also on. Whatever it is, the best thing is he must perform the standard, or dia boleh buat, he can perform without the new standard, but he need to responsible. Okay, then number 2, we need to know the fact. Alright, so now we are analyzing the case. So number 2 is know the fact. So it is critical software. Yes, because it related to this health safety of public. Okay, and then new standard to test new failure mode. So that we need to understand which part. Okay, new standard to test failure mode. We just want to check is it the software are able to compute the failure mode. And then testing is costly, right? So we need to know lah the fact. Testing is costly, so company finance at stake. So discuss with them, with the finance. So is it most applicable or not? We need to know, is it how to solve this condition lah, because based on that we know, is it we can perform or not. Okay, and then we need to protect existing job. Okay, at the same time they also need to protect previous job, existing job, right? So because maybe based on new standard, they will really stop the previous job, and so on. And then the testing will delay or release by 6 months, and then testing will hurt competitive advantages, utility rate will raise. So most of this case we need to know the real fact, is it right or wrong. Right, so even they just said, but we need to clarify clearly, because if when we set it, when we perform it, it will affect it most of this thing. So based on the fact, right, based on the fact, okay, testing will delay release by 6 months. So confirm based on that, we know that it will affect the company. So we try to judge it or to state it. Okay, even if this delay, is it okay to continue it? And then based on that, okay, now we have the critical fact that we will facing due to this case. So based on the case, based on the fact that we have, we try to make the option. Okay, this is the fact that we will facing lah from that issue. So based on that, we try to come out with this some option. This is the how they are analyzing the case lah. Okay, so number 3, we try to consider the option. So what are the options that we have? So option 1, we can ignore the new test. Okay, take the risk to public safety, welfare, and save time and money. Simple lah ini. Ni normal engineer yang takut dia akan buat macam ni. And then option 2, we can conduct the test, take the risk job, the finance confirm and become certain software will work, and then protect safety welfare of the public. That's very good condition. And then option 3, creative middle of the road solution. We try to creative middle the road solution, half. Is there a limited version of full test that could be conduct and that would partially but save some money or time? So is it the 3 option that possible we can take for this case? So we try to choose which one good for us. Okay, and then how to make the decision. So based on that, we can consider all these 3 conditions, and then we try to make a reasonable decision. So the best part is we can pick option 2 since it will focus on the safety and health and welfare of the public per month. Okay, that's very good. But if the company say no, we don't want to take the responsibility, we want to make money only. So as engineer A know which are right and wrong things, so it can try to do a limited test for the failure mode. Okay, your competent in coming up with economical test is critical here, he said. Okay, in this option, all constraints considered, you try to protect the safety and welfare of public. So we try consider meaning that on option 3. That is based on condition. Okay, we try to put the best part first, and then we try to condition. If not, at least we try to figure out what a correct thing. Okay. In order to resolve moral issue, we can use the line drawing. It is provide or invented by Harris et al. They perform idea to try to make solving moral dilemma more analytical, quantitative lah. Okay. Based on that, it's said given moral dilemma, so you can establish key features issue, you can establish extreme or feature issue paradigm, indicate ethical versus clearly unethical, and then we can construct line drawing, such as after this we try to construct, and then based on that we evaluate test case. So that's what does Harris et al. What we call it, propose in their method lah, in order to resolve moral issue. So they call it line drawing. Okay, but in Islam tak ada lah, yang tu rasuah lah kan. Okay, but we try to we appreciate that what Harris et al. Perform, so we try to check, to see lah, and we to learn, and if it good, we can use it lah. And then at the end of this session also, you all of you need to perform group discussion, and then I will give us some cases, and based on the cases you try to jot down and then to perform the concept of what we call line drawing based on that case. So now we try to check this, we try to learn on Harris et al. Concept. Okay, line drawing. Okay, we check, we see the, let's say this a case. Okay, this sample case, and we try to insert this case into the line drawing. Okay, how does the line drawing can be performed based on a moral ethic. Okay. First, we can see that Victor is an engineer in large construction firm. He has been assigned the task of being sole person to recommend rivet for the construction of a large apartment building. To rivet building. After some research and testing, dia buat sendiri ni. He decide to recommend ACME revert for the job, which he determined the lowest cost and highest quality. That time dia tak ada lagi siapa-siapa yang mengganggu. He's not convinced by anybody, and the decision is performed by his own decision. And then on the day after Victor decision, so after that after he make decision, ACME representative, a company visit him and give him a voucher for an all expense paid trip to the annual ACME Technical Forum, which meets in Jamaica. So the trip will have considerable educational value. Okay. But at the same time, they provide also the trip to the beach and point of interest. So the question, if Victor accept, has he been bribed? Adakah dia ambil rasuah kalau dia terima? Right. Apa yang dia offer tu. So based on this case, so we try to put it on line drawing. So under line drawing, we have features, paradigm, either bribery, test case. So under test case, we have line and X. So this X scale, we put it from small to large lah. So is it if large, okay, and then a small, okay, is it small or large, we put it, okay, and then the side is the paradigm is not bribery, okay, we try to put it like that. So based on this condition, okay, and then under features we have gift size. Okay, this is the standard now. And after this, when you want to build this what we call it, this line drawing, so features, paradigm, test same, and then this item also same, gift size, timing, reason, responsibility, product quality, and product cost. And also you can put anything any else, but this is the normal criteria or normal features that are insert under line drawing. So based on that, we test. Okay, let's say act, we say that act is the test case feature evaluation. So X important issue, do you see creative media solution? So based on the cases previously, we check gift size, is it large or small? So that's not too large, right? So we just put it here lah. And then timing, before decision or after? So after decision, right? So we just put it after. Okay, and then reason, you just personal gain. Personal gain or educational. So it was for educational. Alright, and then responsibility, sold, there are none. So it's sold. So product quality, that was best. And then product cost, lowest. Alright. So based on all of this test case, so we can predict. Okay, we can put we can see that, oh, is it more to bribery or not bribery? So, but for this case, we can see that it's fair, right? Bribe and not bribe. So we can check back lah which one. Maybe we can put it another case, another features in order to check is it more to bribery or not. But we can double check on this one. But for this case, do you see creative media solution? Ada tak media collision? So what about effect on future decision on SME? What is company policy? The apparent Omri may not bright but still not be a good idea. Based on that, we can see that most on that is more to the not bribery lah kan. So but it still may not be a good idea lah to receive the what we call it, the gift from the company, because maybe this condition is not bribe, but their action will affected for the next time. Okay, so that's the sample of on how they are doing perform the line drawing based on the case. Okay, just check is it large or not. Okay, and based on that they simply can make a decision. So that is a method proposed by the Harris et al. So after this you can try to perform the case that I will give to you and for your group lah, and then you try to develop this table, and then you try to come out with your opinion or decision. Is it right or not, and the best thing is it what you should do lah. Okay, there are some code of ethic, which is why are code important. Okay, this new topic lah, not a new, but we try to continue a little bit related on that. Okay, why are code important? So is it it was to serve and protect the public, so that's why that the important. So it can be a guidance or support for the engineers. So without the code, maybe the engineers they are no supporting or no guiding. So it also can be inspiration, deterrence, and discipline, and we can share the standard education, mutual understanding, and it also as a profession image. So that's why the code are important for the engineers. So there are some also limitation of code, because it's too vague to be useful in everyday ethical decision making, right? So and it also impossible to cover eventualities. So that's some limitation of the code. So as a code for ethic engineer, this just look like a meaning, a definition. So I just write for you. So engineering is an important and learned profession. Okay, clear? As a member of this profession, engineers are expected to exhibit the highest standard of honesty and integrity. Okay, honesty and integrity. And then engineering has a direct and vital impact on the quality of life of people. So accordingly, the service provided by engineer require honesty, impartiality, fairness, and equity that must be dedicated to the protection of the health, public health, safety, and welfare. So engineer must perform under standard of professional behavior that require adherence to the highest principle of ethical product. So I hope all of you understand clearly what does the code of ethic for engineers. So that when you, if you can if you can hold this word of code of ethic, so I believe that all of engineer will be a good engineer and good ethic after this. Because I believe that most of the outside engineer that performing non-ethical work, because they do not know of the code of ethic. Kan? Kalau dia tahu, dia takkan buat. Itu je. The problem is they do not know what does their responsibility, what the standard, and the code. When you don't know, that's why. So that's why we need to learn time to time, every time. Okay, there's some fundamental Canon. Canon tembakan. Okay, asas. So first, we need to hold kewajipan paramount for the safety, health and welfare of the public. So as engineer or whatever, whoever lah, so firstly we need to consider lah, paramount lah, wajib to safety and health. Even in my class also, my designing the electrical in my class, I also highlight the number one is the safety of the human. So whatever you are doing, whatever you are performing, you must consider the safety and health of the other person lah, not yourself. Okay, and then number two, try to perform service only in area of their competence. So let's say you are electrical, so you just perform on electrical. You cannot perform on all of the field. Let's say you are electrical, you try to perform a service on civil, so that's wrong. You cannot do that. Even you know about that, maybe sometime you are electrical engineer, and then you try to build you can build your home house, okay, civil structure works, but you are not competent on that, so please don't perform it because you are not competent. And then number three, issue a public statement only in an objective and truthful manner. Okay, when we want to issue a public statement, so make sure we have a truth manner, confirm that is truth manner. Okay, barulah kita issue on the public. And then number four, act for each employer or client as faithful agent or trustee. So that is amanah, amanah. So we try to act based on trustee, whatever. We try to perform our responsibility because our agent, our employer are very trusting enough. And then try to avoid deceptive act. Okay, musnahkan. Okay, atau we have a lot of act. We try to avoid deceptive the act lah. Okay, we know as an engineer, we know the act, and then we try to follow. Okay, and then conduct themselves honorability, responsibility, ethically and lawful, so as to enhance the honor, reputation and usefulness of the profession. Okay, there's some of fundamental. And lastly, we need to have also the role of practice and professional obligation. So this the what we call it the fundamental of Canon. Okay, so since we said that a whole paramount on the safety, health and welfare of the public, so we try to discuss a little bit now. So how to assess impact on human safety, health and welfare. So based on that, okay, Amartya Sen's use a capability approach related to the whole and paramount. So being able to live long life in health. So whatever decision that we make based on the safety. So being able to get an education, being able to work, being able to have freedom or expression and association. So we try to think about that. Okay, lack of welfare, so it's equal to capability deprivation. So it does not say the engineer should be what we call, I also cannot say this one. So what we want to say here is whatever decision we make, we must hold paramount. This number one, kewajipan untuk keselamatan, kesihatan rakyat lah, itu welfare of the public tu. Okay, so because when you are engineers, okay, when you are at the top, at the level of the I said that a top level based on the engineering engineering department normally it will state on the top level, and based on that their decision are affected to a lot of people and also public, because your work, you are not just at that time but for a long time. Let's say you design a bridge, right? So your design to design a bridge, maybe decision just today. Okay, let's say you want to select size of the iron, right? Okay, by calculation or by act, they said you must use 100 mm size of the iron, but based on the offer by the company, and somebody say, oh no, can you adjust it to become 80 only, because different 100 to 80 will save around maybe 1 million to them, and maybe you got some 10,000 around that, about that. So if you said yes, so the bridge, yes, also can be built and successful, but sometime maybe for 2 days okay, but it will affect it for a long time. Okay, so it will affect it to the public. So that the issue. So try to think about that. So code of ethics. So we engineer in recognition of the importance of our technologies in affecting the quality of life throughout the world, and in accepting a personal obligation to our profession is a member and community we serve do hereby commit ourselves to highest ethical and professional conduct and agrees. Okay, so we have several code of ethics. So now we go through one by one. So 1, we need to accept responsibility in making engineering decision consistent with the safety, health and welfare of the public, and to disclose promptly factors that might endanger the public of the environment. Okay, number 2. So to avoid a real or perceived conflict of interest whenever possible, and to disclose them to affect parties when they do exist. Okay. Number 3, to be honest and realistic in stating claim or estimate based on available data. Okay. And then to reject bribery in all its form. Okay. Number 5, to improve the understanding of the technology, its appropriate application and potential consequence. Ini is our responsibility ni. Kan, latest technology kan. So we need to understand, we need to improve. We cannot maybe we have that knowledge on the previous technology. The technology is very fast improve, right? Kan. So we need to improve also lah our knowledge. Kan. So let's say the 4G and 5G, we cannot do the same decision based on 4G requirement, kan? So we need to follow 5G and 6G and so on. So we need to improve our knowledge because we are decision maker. Okay, number 6, to maintain and improve our technical competence. Time to time we need to maintain and improve our technical competence because we want to make a decision and to undertake technological tasks for others only if qualified by training or experience or after full disclosure of pertinent limitation. Okay, that's what we have discussed earlier lah. So only qualified or competent only. Okay, and then to seek, accept and offer honest criticism of technical work, to acknowledge and correct error, and to credit properly to the contribution of others. Ini ya. It is important to keep an emotional suppression to your work, so then when it is criticized to you, do not take it personally. Kan, jangan makan hati lah. Orang kata apa. So you need to terima lah kalau you buat silap kan. Okay. And then to treat fairly all person regardless of such factor as race, religion, gender, disability, age or national origin. So there are certainly still problem in industry with this issue. Okay, that one discuss later. So what we want to focus here is treat fairly. Fairly, adil ni bergantung lah. You tak boleh fairly, it depend on condition. So it must refer to the regardless to the factor lah, refer. And then we also need to avoid injuring others, their property, reputation or employment by false or malicious action. So let's say for speaking poorly of someone, project, result when they do not deserve it. Tak boleh cakap tu kan. Okay. Try to avoid injury others. So okay. And then lastly, we need to assist our colleague and co-worker in their professional development and to support them in following this code of ethics. Okay, let's say you are a manager, so you give them opportunity to professional development. So you just a manager, you just give a guide and give a what we call it projection, okay, to them to make sure they are learning in good ways and especially in a code of ethics. Alright, so critique the code. So maybe you want to critique the code, so you have a moral autonomy, so do not take it as given, challenge it, demand right. Okay, so you have clearly based on the 10 code, so maybe you want to discuss about it. So I open to all of you, and then you also can ask me and also PM Dr. Harris if you have some what we call it tak puas hati related to that code. So we open for discussion on that topic, but that one I believe that very simple things, and you can think biologically, especially you are engineer, so that must be built or tanam in your heart, because you are the engineers or you are on engineering side. Okay, so make sure a good ethic are built in our heart. Sometimes social justice perspective we need also to consider. So such as when we deal with whole parameter safety, health and welfare of the public, and encourage engineer to focus improving to the worst safety, health and welfare problem. So maybe when we deal with it, okay, let's say you said that paid or gratuitous engineering with this goal, okay. So you said for Catholic preferential option for the poor. So that for Catholic lah. So it demands special attention for poor and demand that everyone contribute to the common good. For Jewish or Muslim, view on charity. And for all, different principle and it apply to a state or institute inequality. And then for Saint, a broad view of how focus promoting justice. So that's a lot of sometimes when we dealing with social justice in the you need to consider something else lah. So you as even we have ethical, but we believe that most of the social justice is in a good ways lah, but only maybe they are understanding with different concept. Okay, so individual obligation to serve versus profession encouragement to serve. So which one? So does engineer have obligation to serve humanity for free? Tak juga kan. So kalau tak, macam mana nak cari makan? So does engineer have obligation? Yes, confirm yes. But for free, how? Is it we are what we call it, to serve humanity for free? Uh, uh, need to think lah. And then does engineer have obligation even in paid employment to help with the worst case of capability deprivation? Kalau dibayar macam mana pula? Kan? So as such obligation duties, certainly engineers should not be causes in any way to do this thing. So if individual do not have obligation, does the profession as whole, in connection this, should engineer profession code of ethics encourage engineer to do this thing as aspire. Okay. Alright. So now I think I have covered all of what we call it, this something related to the code of ethics for this week. So based on what we have discussed today, I need you to perform this line drawing assessment by the group. So you just create by your own group, okay, 4 to 5%, okay, and then you develop this table, and you can choose between these two cases that I will share after this, based on this case. So you perform the line drawing, okay, and then you prepare a very simple report based on your finding lah. Okay, either is it under bribery or not bribery. So you just put it test case here based on gift, size, timing, reason, responsibility, product quality, and product cost. And also you can refer back to the previous case that we have discussed on this slide lah, if you don't confident with your case. Okay, I think that should be very simple assignment lah. Okay, this is the case 1, which is said that Zil is the manager for L Construction Sdn Bhd. He has been assigned to the task to develop one properties in Sungkei area. After some research and testing, he decided appoint key company J Sdn Bhd who are his close friend. Okay, after decision was made, Key buy a ticket for Zil to Zurich. There are one international event which all the distributors present their new technologies. Key wants Zil to help him to choose the latest concept and technologies in the project. So Zil accept the journey because his daughter also study there. So you need to support decision on this decision. Either want to accept or is it correct or not, based on the acceptance the offer. Okay, so that's the case 1. And the case 2, Anna being given a task by her boss to in charge one project, supply the material for NAS Bhd car manufacturer. Anna grab this dia ambil this opportunity, which her brother-in-law was the big plastic manufacturer in Belling. Okay, the project amount around 1 million. Anna gave one condition to his brother-in-law. Her company also in the same time built a new child center for all staff kids. Anna asked 10% from the project value to use it for charity. Okay, build the center. Okay, her brother-in-law agree with the condition, but he will increase the project amount to 1.5 million. So propose your opinion on this case. So you can choose case 1 or case 2, and perform it by your own group and then submit by next week 22 May. Okay, so that's all for me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.